this video today is really focused on the debts that we have as a family. So I've been looking at my debts for like years, even before I really understood how debts and stuff worked and how they kind of were, stacking up over the course of the years. Going through college, having kids, taking loans, this, that, and the third. It's just something that you kind of learn as you grow older. But it's good if we could learn these things when we're young. I'm only 24, so started to learn about debt back when I was 20. That's when I really started to hop on it. All right, so what you're currently seeing here is one of my spreadsheets that I created. We have kind of multiple items kind of going on here. We have the current debt, which I'm kind of get like a slow scroll that you can see a few of them are. So we have our current debt column with the name of the debt and how much we had owed at the beginning of 2020 on those debts. So also have another column here in column C, which is the later 2020 debts. So we also have here in the column D is kind of a notes section. This is where I kind of put like pertinent information about that particular type of debt. And then lastly, what I want to look at over here is the debt goals. So this is, I put at the beginning of 2020 when I made this, I had a debt goals for, okay, what do I want to accomplish over this year 2020? And I've added a few. Originally there was only 3 on here, but I'm sorry, initially there was only 2, but then I added 3 and 4 as we got into 2021. And this spreadsheet isn't exactly updated to how I would like it to look like here in 2021, but it's so far has kind of the key elements that I want to show y'all. So my goals for 2020 when it comes to our debt was to pay off the promotional balances to avoid paying the deferred interest. So that means paying off our rooms to go, as I just mentioned. And then also we had to pay off of Best Buy, which is like around $600 that also needed to be paid around December 1st to kind of hurry, so that way we won't have to worry about paying off that or paying that extra deferred interest. I can save us a few $100s at the end of the year if I just put extra money towards paying off the rooms to go and the Best Buy before December 1st of 2020. And so they also had paying off Capital One. Capital One was our Capital One credit card. We decided to use for like a groceries credit card. It can kind of help us build our credit a little bit. And I'll explain more to that as I kind of go through this list here. And then Candace here. Candace is the name of my car. I have a 2016 Jeep Compass that I got about 3.5 years ago. So, and got to name your car. So I named our car Candace. So that's what you're going to see on here. You'll see pay off Candace before 2021. That was kind of that's kind of one of the newer goals I had. This, like I said, the spreadsheet is slightly updated because I'm taking it from the current one that I'm utilizing for my family. So a lot of these goals are not the old ones that I had. I kind of edited it as I went along throughout the year to kind of like, oh, I completed this goal, I can move on to the next one and such, right? So now I kind of want to get into the not extremely fine details of it, but just kind of talk to you about the type of goals the type of debt that we had here, kinds of goals. So we have our basic credit cards, like Rooms to Go was a credit card, Best Buy was a credit card. I can see the amounts of how much they were at the beginning of 2020. Our One Main, as you can see, it was 0 in this B column, but it's $9,300 in the C column. This was the first loan I took out, and I didn't really understand how personal loans worked out as much. So I was like, okay, hey, I can get this personal loan, and I can utilize it to pay off a lot of these debts. Or my actual plan there was to consolidate a lot of these debts. So instead of having to pay, a couple $100s here, a couple $100s there every month, I just put it all into one big bill and just pay that off. So I kind of like that idea of consolidation. So that's something I stuck with. So that was the purpose of that $9,300 One Main loan. So we have my car here, Candace, and at the time, beginning of 2020, it was around, I think it was actually lower than $10,000, but I'm putting 10 because I know it was somewhere in that range. It was somewhere between like $9,300 and $10,000. So I'm just going to the upper end that at the beginning of 2020, I owed $10,000 on my car at the time. The Capital One was a credit card, like I said, that we got that one through Walmart, and we wanted to use it as our, kind of help us build our credit. Sorry, try to help us build our credit score and show good payments on our credit card, or on our credit statement, and what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so that that it started off at zero, but I think we had like a balance like 250 or like $300. It wasn't that much but it was enough. So you see here we have two Upstart loans. So the first Upstart loan was, oh, I guess I forgot to mention, also within the D column I said there was notes as well. I also put the APR of a lot of the loans. So I like to track like, okay, we got this loan or this credit card, how much is it charging us, per year, and then you break that down per month, per day type of deal. So I like to put that in there because it lets me know like, okay, hey, this one has a huge APR, so the longer I take to pay this off, the more money I'll pay in the long run. So having that little note of just what the APR there is going to help me out. So this first Upstart loan was another loan I took out later on in 2020. I want to say around like August. I took out the $1 million loan back in March, I believe, March of 2020, and then I ended up taking out the Upstart loan in August of 2020, I believe. And the purpose there was that I was starting to understand how APR worked a lot better or a lot more. So I was like, okay, well, if you look at the APR of my $1 million loan, it was currently 27.99%, right? Which is, fairly high for a loan that I started to learn. But you see that I got a $7,200 loan at 16.99% for my Upstart. So I also made a note there that I used that loan to pay off my $1 million loan because I'd rather have the other loan, the Upstart loan, with a lower APR, so just in case I wanted to, take my time paying that one off, I won't pay so much over time. But obviously over the course of that, 4 or 5 months span, I was putting, more than my monthly payments on my $1 million loan. So that's why it was only $7,200 versus the $9,300 again. So the second Upstart loan was actually a loan that my wife, Kiana, she took out because she wanted to help pay off our USAA credit card. So we have an EMS one. This is when I went to an emergency room back in 2019. So that's just the EMS bill I was finishing paying off, but it was still a bill or a debt I had to pay off essentially. So I described about the USAA credit card, which the second Upstart loan paid off for my wife. We had a few credit cards that when me and my wife officially got married back in December of 2019, she had all these credit cards that need to be paid off, and we're married now, so her debt is my debt. So I also added here to the tracker like, okay, hey, got to pay these off. So I put them here. I didn't exactly put the APR because I have another spreadsheet where I had a lot of these loans on, and I had them in a different type of formatting. But in an instance of just showing this video and getting it out to you, explaining to you, I just took the information and how much we owe for those onto here. I didn't really get too much into the APR. It wasn't, because these ones got paid off rather quickly within like the first 2 or 3 months once we moved up here to Missouri. So like I said, I just took those from my other spreadsheet. And if you want to see the other spreadsheet, it's a different type of format. Please comment below. Let me know. Hey, I want to see more of the spreadsheets that you've been making, because this has got some interesting information or something that you're interested in. I am more than willing to do so. So just like this video, subscribe to my channel, because it really lets me know that you're liking what I'm putting out. But also leave a comment or somehow get in contact with me. We also have our social medias that's going to be in the description. So follow us on there and send me a DM or IM. So moving on, a lot of these were credit cards, like the Kohl's credit cards, Victoria's Secret, Children's Place, PayPal, Sezzle. I had an overpayment, not overpayment, but I guess from my loans I were getting from the Texas State. I guess I don't show you exactly how it was, but I had like an overpayment. Though they overpaid something for like my classes, so I had to pay back like around $473 for it. I also had a discount tire credit card. I needed new tires before we got up here to Missouri. We drove here from Texas. I needed to get new tires on my truck. So I had opened a credit card for that one. I had the discount tire credit card. Like I said, I needed new tires on my truck. We drove here from Texas all the way to Missouri. So the tires in my truck were done for, basically. So I needed to get new tires. I opened up a credit card for discount tires. Just already got that. I know I was going to pay it off just as quick as I got the car. So that's why you also don't see an APR here. I think that got paid off within Actually, that might have got paid off with one of the personal loans, the one main loan, I believe. It got paid off with. Then we have had the Wells Fargo credit card. Was my personal credit card that I had back when I started college. The APR for this card was 15.15. It's a variable APR, so I think it changes over time. But at the beginning of 2020, it was around basically $6,000 that I had on that card. Not completely maxed out, but still fairly high. Now we're starting to get into the student loans. So you'll see here that we have two separate loans. One's called Navient, and that was the student loans that I took out in my name. Another one's called Nelnet. That's the student loans my wife took out in her name and everything. So as you see right here, they're named differently. That's kind of how when we go to our site, that's how they're named. Mine are named by a particular number. Hers are named by a letter combination. So what you'll see here is that when I originally had this created, I put it in order. Like I had all my Navient loans together, 1 through 9, I believe. I had all my wife's her Nelnet loans put together. That's like AA to like AJ, I believe. So in total, we had like basically almost 20 different student loans between the both of us, racking up to ours. So what I did here, I ordered them by least to greatest. So you'll kind of see that they're kind of mixing between, like there's Navient in here, there's Nelnet, so they're kind of just thrown in there. But from row 20 all the way up to row 36 is all just school loans. So you'll see that my wife has this really high one at 11,269. My highest was the 6,483. I was lucky enough to get a lot of grants and for my school, and I was part of an organization where I got a stipend. I'm sorry, different times. I got a stipend that was paying for a lot of my schooling as well, so I used that money. But those grants and everything I was getting, so I didn't have to take out as many loans. My wife was coming from a different socioeconomic class, so she had to take out more personal loans to help pay for her school and everything. So it just kind of how things worked out to be. So you'll see, if you haven't recognized already, that the Navient loans have the 0% APR because of what's going on with the government. We don't have to pay our student loans right now if we're it was like in a deferment period. My Navient loans don't show what the APR of those loans are anymore. So I can't even go in and see okay, what was this one before the whole pandemic and everything, or before they say put it into deferment. So all of my Navient loans, you'll see 0%. But on my wife's, you'll see that her individual loans have the different APRs. So they're also listed here with their respective loans and everything. So, and then lastly, we have Kelly 2.0. That is my wife's car. It's Kelly 2.0 because this is her second car she's ever gotten. So simply, exactly for the name, it's Kelly 2.0. But you see that it's not in the B column, so it wasn't. We initially had the car in our name at the very beginning. Her mom was initially paying for her car, and then as it was coming towards the end of the lease period, we decided that okay, we have 2 children, or at the time we're about to have 2 kids. My wife's car, she has like a Buick Encore, so it's not a really big car. So, but we work 2 different jobs. We need to have 2 different cars to manage for our lives. And since car's already getting paid off by her mom, we decided that hey, we'll take this car and put it in our name. So we got that paperwork done. Now the car is our name. I think it happened back in like November. So we took on that and we got it for like $50,500. It's kind of like what we're paying off since the end of 2021. Oh, I'm sorry, since the end of 2020. So that's why this one is in the C column versus the B column. But that's kind of the extent of our loans. If we got credit cards, we have our personal loans, we have our student loans, and that's kind of the extent of all our loans and everything. So I definitely wanted to cover those with y'all, so I kind of see where we're sitting at. But now I kind of want to get to the most interesting part about why y'all probably hear, and probably saw my thumbnail, is that if you calculate all these numbers, if you actually pause this video and calculate these numbers, all these debts and stuff added together actually is over $100,000. So that's why I made a thumbnail that we were almost to $100,000 in debt in 2020. So, but now I want to scroll down here because I want to show you the actual calculation, because remember, some of these loans that we took out were to cover some other loans that were taken care of. But I think what I want to do is actually show y'all my current spreadsheet. Like, if you want me to show you my current spreadsheet that I have as of March 2021, I can show you what that looks like so you can see what debts we have paid off so far and what we're currently sitting at. And you may know what we're currently sitting at if you watch one of my previous videos where I actually told towards the end of my video what our current debt was. And I can put a suggestion box, or I can just link at the end of this video. Or if you want to know, if you ask me, I'll put it in the comments. Or you reach out to me and I'll tell you how much we're currently sitting at in debt, currently as of March 2021. So you can see the progress we've made over this past 15 months. And I'm pretty happy about it. I think we did a really great job with the amount of debt that we could have had if we weren't being smart with our money. So now I'm trying to get towards the end of this video. Let's kind of look at, all right, how could we have got to that amount? Like, what is the exact numbers for the amount of debt we could have had in 2020? So scrolling down a little bit. So at the beginning of 2020, we had a total of $83,131.44 in debt as of the beginning of 2020. So the amount of debt we kind of took on throughout 2020 was basically almost up to $116,000 worth. So, but like I just mentioned, some of those loans we took out took care of other debts. So it's kind of like some of these values are kind of being double counted. So the 116 isn't a realistic number, but if we actually sat down and look at the per month, which one of my other spreadsheets actually look at how much you pay per month to a certain debt, and I can make a video of that spreadsheet if you want me to. Just like, subscribe, and comment it down below to let me know, or just reach out to me on one of my socials, and I would more than gladly make a video about that spreadsheet as well, because it's different than this one and it has its own particular purpose. But I am more than willing to share that with you. So yeah, nearly $100,000 in debt in all of 2020, but we've made significant strides since then, and I would love to share with y'all. But for me to want to share with y'all, I may do it any which way, but it will make me really happy and make my family happy if you hit the like button, you hit that subscribe button, and you comment below to let us know that, hey, I like how you presented this, I like what you presented, and I want to hear more about you. So thank you so much for sitting here watching this, listen to me kind of ramble and go on about what my family debt are. But this is important. I'm putting this out here. I'm doing this because I want to reach out to the younger families and just the people in general who may need help and want to hear from me. I feel like I'm a special person, but there's millions of people who talk about debt and finances every day on social medias and YouTube. So you don't have to watch my video, but if you did, I do thank you from the bottom of my heart. And that's all I have for you. So make sure you check out the other videos. This is Parker Universal. Stay tuned for more, and thank you so much. Take care.